Hey everybody, why don't you turn your car off so we're not getting engine noise?
What's
up, guys?
Yeah.
Hey.
How are we doing tonight? Jared, you,
That was the greatest nap.
I feel like I needed to be drunk for that one.
it probably would have helped.
The one theater that sells alcohol, too.
I should have smuggled some in.
The seats were nice.
Yeah, the seats were nice.
Work because mine did not.
Oh,
The
Yeah.
little button.
Yeah, I tried the buttons. We got seats like that where I'm stationed out at right now. But yeah, mine did not work. I don't know if it was plugged in or just a piece of shit.
all right. Well, this is a very special. What are we calling this?
Painful.
What are we calling these reviews?
Just movie review.
This is a very, very special movie review. As you're well aware, I'm Sean from Byron Barrow. With us today, my brother is in for the holidays for vacation a little bit. And I decided he was having way too much fun, so we decided to go see Assassin's Creed.
Ass Creed.
I got a title for you. Ready?
What's that?
Assassin's Ball Z. Think about the montage at the last part. He's sitting there, glowing energies all around him, being all Super Saiyan-y.
It definitely took up about as much time as the Frieza saga did for that 5 minutes, so you might have something. But yeah, we're talking about Assassin's Creed. Initially, when I went into this, I was planning to just sit here and talk more about Rogue One, because I was going to be disappointed with this. I got one of the greatest comedies ever for this.
Oh, man.
Oh my god. Okay, well, let's get positives out of the way first, because that's going to be a real short list. Anybody have something nice to say about this movie?
I do.
Okay, what you got?
So, love it or hate the over-the-top actioniness and the stupid energy animus thing that was going on.
Right.
Visually, it was really cool to look at times. Even though it got silly, it did silly, especially when he broke it when that thing is designed to do
Exactly what it was doing.
Right. Like, that didn't make any sense. But visually, it was a really cool aspect of the movie.
It was the only visual aspect of the movie.
And their choreography for most of the fight scenes was pretty slick.
That's like
few
The
the fight scenes were
when it wasn't CG fakey fake people, then it was decent choreography.
Yeah, that one little that was the first time you busted out laughing is when they pulled that just ridiculous whatever the hell loop-de-loop whirl.
Yeah, no, there's a really great scene. I laughed so hard at this. They're driving a couple of horse carriages away, and one of the assassins is on the horse carriage carrying a passenger. She jumps off of the seat, onto the wall, into the bag, and it's all just this really obvious CG character, and it's just like, Jesus Christ, did you even try?
Oh, or the time they fell down on top of those, the laundry wires, and it looked like he was about to fall before it switched away.
Yeah, no, when she surfed down the laundry wires is when I laughed
Is
hard.
that as bad as them running across the laundry wires?
Well, that was something
There's
that was
a lot of laundry
doable
wires for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, that was something that was sort of doable in, I want to say, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood? Whichever one was the one where he went to visit the Ottoman Empire.
The one when he goes to Spain, he can do it too.
2. It was 2.
It was 2, yeah.
I vaguely remember running across
The laundry wires.
lines and
Okay.
Well, at least they did the free running style pretty decent justice. Although, I could have done without the odd flashback thing to when he was a kid.
Some of the stuff just
That didn't make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah, like,
There's-
So my
a lot
dad
of
killed
things.
my mom to protect the bloodline.
and
Yeah.
apparently their blood is not their own.
Well, we're getting away.
Well, that was, that was an owing allegiance to the creed.
Yeah.
Jared, do you have any positives for this movie?
I had a great nap.
You had a great nap? I laughed a lot.
For real, guys, I fell asleep right after he broke himself free and watched his master burn. I was in and out for that whole sequence and to like where they revealed where the apple was.
You really didn't miss a whole lot in between then and there. It was a whole lot of padding.
You didn't miss a lot
Filler.
of plot.
Yeah, it was a lot of filler.
Something that I think I did mention that was good though is the costumes and the settings. As far
Yes,
as like the
except
battle
they're
sequences.
wrong.
They are wrong, but
They're
were
wrong
really
for
good. They
multiple
were
reasons,
really
though.
immersive.
They're wrong for historical purposes, they're wrong for where they are, and they're wrong for the game time.
Yep.
Yeah.
See, here's the big problem, and this is the big problem you're going to have, Ash Creed, because you're trying to draw in the fans of the game, and you're fucking it all up.
I'm
The
not
Spanish
happy.
Inquisition didn't happen, wasn't going on successfully during 1548. It was mostly during the 1400s. So that's wrong historically. Secondly, they stopped doing the chopping off the third finger sometime between Ezio and Altair, because Ezio's dad even has all his fingers. And they were like, yeah, that was a really fucking obvious clue. All they had to do was just say, oh, hi, Ted. And they're like, yeah, hi, buddy. Oh, shit.
Well, even in the flashback,
And they
they still
screwed,
had all their fingers. All of them did.
yeah, except our main guy.
Yeah.
And so it's like,
Yeah.
okay, well, you screwed two pieces of continuity. And so it really messes up everything. And I really think they meant for this to take place during Altair's time,
I don't
but
know.
they're like a couple of centuries off.
They don't know what they're
I
doing.
just-
This
They're just
movie has
throwing stuff in
no fucking clue what it's doing.
there. Even the guy in there, it was perfect when he said, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, Michael Fassbender. They dropped their one F-bomb with Michael Fassbender sitting there going, what the fuck's going on around here? I'm just like,
I did appreciate that.
yeah, I'm completely with you, Michael.
Yeah, I
What
agree.
the fuck?
It's like open up with something that's not exactly pertaining to anything currently. Set up the main story.
sorry.
Throw the character in with a whole bunch of people
Can I
who
get some air?
speak in nothing but cryptics, and then give the moment of clarity with what the fuck.
Yeah.
And I didn't know if I was in the
Um,
middle, the beginning, the end of the movie. I didn't know where I was at in the movie.
Yeah,
all the time.
no,
Can-
there was no continuity
Can
between all
someone
these.
explain, like, I think I dozed out and missed this.
Okay.
Please explain what the chick who made the Animus had to do with anything at the end and why she's
To show dramatic
all of a
effects
sudden
on
an
her face.
assassin,
Yeah.
but then she's not an assassin.
Oh
and
yeah,
now
she
wants
was.
the apple and-
It shows her face in the crowd of assassins, the holographically projected assassins. We'll get to that in a second.
No, it's just for dramatic effect to have her face in there.
So is she good?
So you can see
Is
her
she
face.
evil? What's her?
She was a mixture of both because her dad was evil and lied to her. Apparently, that's
I-
what
Yeah, but
happened.
apparently that doesn't matter. So whatever.
Oh my god.
I'll admit, I had a hard time getting a feel on most. Like everyone was pretty well all left, all right as far as like what character role they were supposed to play.
Really?
Except for the main bodyguard for some reason, and the girl that y'all are talking about. Everyone else is like, I am a bad guy. Everyone else
You
is
couldn't
like,
even remember the
I'm
names of
assassin.
half these characters except
didn't
for the
have
main
names.
guy. They
No,
didn't have names.
no, they
They
didn't.
named all the guys
The
already.
only person who had a name was Michael Fassbender. Hello, Cal.
Yeah, that's all we know of him. Everybody else is just guy,
Did you
girl,
hear her say
Cal's
status
dad.
instead of status?
Huh?
Well, that's a
Said
European
status.
thing. That's a European thing. Whatever.
She didn't have a name though. Like none of them had names
And then
except for the main
Nobody
guy.
did. No.
Fucking. And we find out he was on death row because he killed a pimp.
Which adds nothing to the story.
Like, why did you tell
No
us
one would
that?
Well,
fucking
all right,
care
let's-
if he
let's-
killed a pimp.
Let's start
First
from
of all-
the top here. We meet our protagonist who's on death row for killing a pimp.
Well, it's not said
But we
at
don't
that
find.
point.
Yeah, we don't find out till later.
Yeah, that's not known.
You're a half hour in the movie before you killed someone, a pimp.
Yeah, and it's
You
like,
kill again. And then
I'm hungry.
Yeah.
3 times.
Three
I'm
times
hungry.
they noticed.
Let's
Oh
go
my
and
God.
talk. I'm hungry. Let's go and talk. You're hungry. Oh, well, now it's time to eat. Let's
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, like like,
Now
Then he
let
has to go through a
me.
gym before he even gets to the food.
yeah,
Oh
it's
my-
like, this
Skip
place
straight
isn't well
there.
put together.
No,
like,
it's not.
And it's like,
It's built on top of a castle or
surprised-
some shit because
I'm
they've
surprised
got.
No, that was the
it's not,
fucking
like, in the
power
middle of the
chamber.
kitchen.
that was.
I don't know.
I expected Zordon to show up because that motherfucker looked like the Power Rangers
Or the
lying down
bathroom
in
could
there.
have been somewhere in the Animus. Just like, you have to go through here to get to the bathroom.
Yeah,
I
there's one
expected-
guy who walks in. It's like, "Hey, I'm new. Where's the head? I gotta go." And it's like, "All right, you gotta go through the guy with the holograms that looks like he's gonna stab you. Don't worry, he probably won't. There's like a 70% chance he will, but just run fast. There's a chance he
That's
won't
an
hit you."
illusion coming.
Yeah, it's
out
an
of your
illusion.
mind.
Don't
Which-
let him jump on your head either.
Jesus Christ. All right, well, yeah, we meet our protagonist. We know nothing about him other than he's on death row for killing somebody that we later find out is a pimp, which adds nothing to the story, adds nothing to him. And we find out that he was...
In Texas, no less. Like,
He went
Texas
from-
would not kill somebody
No,
for
he was in
killing a
Madrid.
pimp. No, he was in
No,
Texas.
he was transported to Madrid.
Yeah,
He
that's
was
right.
being killed in Texas.
Yeah, he
Yes.
was being killed in Texas.
So he
Yeah.
was in
For
Madrid,
killing a
Texas.
pimp.
No,
No,
he was
he's
killed in
in-
Texas. He was
Like the
transferred after
prison,
that
he was-
Into Spain.
into
Gotcha.
Spain.
And
See, he doesn't even know what's going on. None of us knew.
we
what's
just
going
sat
on.
there for 2.5 hours.
Was that 2.5 hours?
It was
That
2.5 hours.
Two
It was
and a half hours.
butt-numbingly
Okay.
long.
I'm trying
All
to
right,
defend this,
I-
but 2.5 hours,
No, this thing...
and I still don't know
this,
what the fuck was happening.
See,
Jesus,
there
this
you go.
fucker needed to end.
You think in that having that much time, they could have saved it somehow, but there was no way to save it because no one knew what
No.
the fuck was going on.
Nobody knew what they were doing in this.
But I didn't notice the 2.5 hours.
That if
You
you're
probably fell asleep too, and you just didn't know it.
no, if you fell asleep, if you were laughing and having a good time, you will not notice this being 2.5 hours long. The only reason I actually noticed was because I had to check.
I fell asleep. Sean was like hilarious. Like
This
Sean-
movie is hilarious
There were
for
a few
all
times
the
I
wrong
busted out,
reasons.
too.
Oh my god.
Like, when
Okay.
they found the fruit, I'm like, did you not think to go there first?
No,
He just
no,
has it
wait.
in the case there.
Wait,
It's
if
just sitting
they
in his
found
grave.
this guy's tomb, which they claim that's where they got the little arm blades from,
Why did they not?
the
find
fruit was spot there. That's where the fruit
in
was.
a nice decorative case and
It-
everything.
No, it wasn't in his. It wasn't with his tomb. It was with Christopher Columbus's tomb.
They had it in a nice
So
decorative. Well,
goddamn
the
dumb.
dude had it too. Like some dude just like brought it straight to him. He's like,
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, it turns
What
out this
is
has been in
Christopher
Christopher
Columbus?
Columbus's possession all this time.
you just didn't know.
Go figure.
And I didn't want to tell
Did
you.
he
I
meet
thought you
Christopher
knew.
Columbus?
Yes, yes.
He's
He,
on the,
he met Christopher Columbus.
What was the name of the
I was
ship?
sitting there, I'm
Oh,
just like,
yeah, he-
oh my god.
In the memory, didn't he?
Yeah,
Yep.
because he escapes the final fight with the priest and that main.
I was
Templar
asleep
knight.
at this part.
Ends up on
Yeah.
the ship of Christopher Columbus, which helped me. What was the name of the ship?
Which one? He had three.
Was it the Nina? Was the one that he actually...
Nina, the Pita, and the Santa Maria.
Right, but which one was one that he actually? It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
It's the one where he,
Like this movie
gone.
follows any kind of continuity for
Oh, and So
anything.
then she finds out.
Let me check.
She figures out that it's in his tomb, but the biggest giveaway should have been when he said, "Take it to your deathbed." Like, take it to you with death. Like, that should have been the biggest thing right there, but then she notices it afterwards.
Apparently, that's the only, like, he was the last one to see the apple, or...
He took it to his grave,
I
like
just-
they told him to.
I'm so... And the apple's really a metal orb that looks like it's black, and
Has
there's
kind
some
of holographic
fairy
stuff
dust coming off of
Yeah.
it.
That's what it did in the games, though. So, I mean, to a much grander extent, obviously. I never finished an Assassin's Creed game. I've gotten most of the way through the first one, most of the way through the second one, most of the way through the third one, and I just never quite cinched it
I'm
off.
playing
But I
Black
kept up
Flag
with
right
the
now.
story. And, I don't know, I feel like they did do a good job executing this story.
Bonus factoid, Christopher Columbus didn't set sail for America until 1492. This motherfucker takes place in 1458. That was goddamn Google searched in less than a minute.
Maybe he waited a long time before going west?
These motherfuckers couldn't get this right.
They didn't go into a history class before they did that.
How much money? How much money did this thing? What was the
They
budget?
obviously didn't have enough to get
What
high-speed
was
internet there.
the budget for
Oh my god.
The budget for this movie could have
The-
fed a third world country.
That's what it should have
And
done.
it should have done it.
It should have just been like, you know what? Let me give
Michael
you
Fassbender, I know you need a paycheck, bro, but
But you can do better.
stick to being like a misunderstood Magneto. Please.
Yeah, he was way better as Magneto.
I forgot he played Magneto. Was that in like
125 million.
3 times.
There you go. 125 million.
125 goddamn million dollars. And you can't do a Google search on your phone about when Christopher Columbus set out.
None of them thought to do
Fuck.
No, because we need an animus that flips.
Hold up, Sean.
Okay,
That
yeah,
breaks.
let's
That breaks.
let's talk about the animus for this and how fucking retardedly dangerous it is.
And how stupid it looks.
It was like Gladys got merged with a human.
Yeah.
It was just terrible.
Apparently it went from being a bed where people lay in that does a neural connection with you and it records your neural synapses.
Which requires no surgeons to insert, apparently.
Yes. Well, you know, they're dealing in the not too distant future where they can, like, just electronically read brain patterns, which we're getting to. There's some science behind it.
So you're saying
In the
that I
games.
can-
I'm saying in the games.
In the game.
In the games. In the games, it's a bed that you lay on in
It's
the not too
not-
distant future that scans your neural synapses that detects what you're seeing
It's
mentally.
It's not
say
even that by the
synapses.
fourth one. By the fourth
Synapses, synapses, whatever.
one. By the fourth one, it's like a headset you put on.
Okay, I missed
It's
it.
Yeah.
like a computer and a headset.
Yeah, and
by the
Right,
fourth
they keep
one.
improving.
In
They
front
keep
of a
improving it.
computer.
Sean, real quick to interject.
Yeah.
You said Christopher Columbus set out when? 1497?
Two.
1493? Two?
Yes.
The Spanish Inquisition was based 1st of November 1478 and was disbanded in 1834.
Yes.
So it's still wrong. Don't get me wrong. Like,
It's
you would have
it's
to have
still
waited-
horribly
Columbus
wrong.
would have had to wait a long time.
40
before actually
years.
going, but technically in the correct timeline for the Spanish Inquisition and Christopher Columbus.
I'll give them this. They got the right century for that. I'll give you that, Ash Creed. You got the right century for Christopher Columbus sailing to the New World.
Did they give dates and times? Like
No.
kind of like
No, they gave it
flashed to-
once.
well,
when you first
yeah.
It could
when you
have
first get in, they give it to you one time, and that is it.
Well, it could have been a
Because I
different
think even when they
part and
realized,
time and place by that.
but if
time.
you do that, you have to set it up and show it and say, "Hey, there's been passage of time."
No,
Otherwise,
I
it
don't know.
looks like this was just like one day, next day, day after.
that was dumb.
Maybe it was a day, maybe it was a week, maybe it was 5 years. Who knows?
Who knows what this was?
Who knows?
That
No,
was
getting
fun.
back to the Animus. Oh God, yeah, it went from being a bed that reads your neural pathways and basically
That's cool shit.
catalogs it to a computer that records it to a hard drive. That makes a lot of sense because it's all happening in your head. There's no outside interference for anything. It's fine. It's good.
But now you're getting like Doc Ock stabbed in the back of the
And
brain.
now you have to have a neural connector that goes right there at the base of the head.
Spider-Man 2 style.
Yeah,
Doc Ock.
think Dr. Octopus getting plugged into his Octo arms in Spider-Man 2. That's the Animus right there. And then you jump around.
Don't forget the things that go into the belt that you have to wear around your waist.
Yeah, you have to be strapped into an Abstergo labeled belt where so that
They
the
strap this big arm onto.
Let
so that
me
the arm
tell
can
you
grab you.
how much sense this movie made. So a
Zero.
company full of geniuses
Yes.
has the bright idea to strap all these people in, let them relive their past lives
As assassins.
as assassins.
Which apparently only assassins come from violent pasts. Or
Apparently.
violent people were assassins in their past. No one else. So, yeah,
and we're
Fuck
gonna
Desmond.
leave. We're gonna leave a room full of weapons open for these people to grab at any point in time.
Well, to be
And we're
fair,
gonna train
they
them.
had to get into the system and unlock the doors, which they unwittingly trained them due to the bleeding effect. Thanks for not explaining the bleeding effect in this movie. That would have made sense, actually. I
And-
can see it in your face. The bleeding effect is...
I know.
Oh, you know what the bleeding effect
That's
is.
all
Okay, well,
it
for
was.
those of you who don't know, if this is your first introduction for Assassin's Creed, I'm sorry. I genuinely am, because this series is actually really fun. The bleeding effect is something that's brought up in Assassin's Creed 2, that when you spend too much time in the Animus with your genetic counterpart, some of those muscle memories and traits will bleed into your current self.
Yes.
And
That's why
that's how Desmond learned how to assassin people without
Yeah,
actually doing
sure.
it, because he was spending like days on end in the Animus.
See, and this is the thing. Like, why are you gonna put these people in this, and then even one of the guys says you're feeding the beast, you're training him to be stronger against us, and they just continue.
Let's
to do
not
That's 'cause
forget
bad guys
the
are dumb.
point. Let's not forget where staff members hand these guys weapons, and they hand the weapons to other people. It's
And
like
they have the most untrained force.
Jeremy Irons.
Watch
Why?
these guys, the most untrained force to watch these people.
Why is Jeremy Irons in every
I want.
terrible
I
movie?
wish. I kept expecting him to just start, literally just bite into the desk and start chewing the scenery around him. Oh God, he was
I
so
can-
underwhelming in this. I was so angry.
I can name at least 3 movies he's been in that should have been great that was terrible.
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed,
Yeah.
Aragon,
Okay.
Batman vs
Whoa, whoa,
Superman.
he was in Aragon?
Yeah, dude, he was Braun in Aragon.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Good old Jeremy
Irons.
Irons. Hey, to be fair, Jeremy Irons is also from Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh.
Yeah, you forgot he was the main bad guy in that.
Yep, I blocked that whole movie out actually.
You will do my bidding.
Oh my god!
I love that scene so much.
And Imhotep is his sidekick.
Yeah, but no, getting back to the Animus, it, rather than being a chair that records your neural pathways onto a hard drive, it is now a 3D movement space that projects holograms in front of you that makes you believe you are who your ancestor is.
Future
So
video
it's
games, kids.
AR.
No, this is a huge problem, and this is something that I wanted to punch someone in the face for, because this is
Didn't
something.
even had a headset on. nothing.
No, this is something everybody thinks, oh, holograms, yeah, you just interact with them. A hologram is a focused image of light.
This
It
was-
has
I was
no
worried about.
it has no substance.
And, he was,
And
like,
there's
climbing
something
up it.
there's something about the human brain that responds to tactile touch. Like if I go, I know that's there. My physical senses tell me it's there. Just seeing something there does not make my brain think it's there. So while he's jumping and climbing and punching people, there should be no reaction on him. Every punch should go, even if he punches them straight in the face. It should go, he should carry his momentum through.
He was
shouldn't-
hitting like puffs of smoke and they were evaporating.
That could be the light source bending around him. I'm fine with that. No, what I'm having a problem with is when he's like climbing up the wall and his body immediately repositions itself, like his feet go dig into the part where it's supposed to dig into, and then he propels himself upwards. Your body doesn't react like that.
Yeah, I was mad about that too.
It's just-
I'm like, how is this even happening?
I was just sitting there, I'm like, you've transformed something that was semi-probable into the most elaborate and completely most expensive, unobtainable thing ever. And it makes no fucking sense.
That was
Nobody
the budget,
knows
kid.
what the fuck they're doing.
No one knows. No one knows. The people don't even know what they want to do.
And that
Oh
girl
God,
just had
the
most
girl waffles.
underwhelming shirt face every time.
Oh God, she waffled so much on him. And was like, "Oh, I want to go through with this. No, I don't. It's evil. I have to go through with it for science. No, it's evil, Papa. We can't treat them like this. You killed my father, even though I totes let you go through. I will swear vengeance for science and give it all to the Templars."
I stood here the whole time knowing you were dying, Dad, and I didn't care. Until after you were dead, and then I did kind of care.
I wouldn't have been upset about that, like, at all. I wouldn't have been upset about that at all if they just had some consistency, like, make her, like, manipulative or make her underhanded or something. Just...
She's like, I gotta make them as comfortable as possible.
Let's not
Christ.
forget, there's one character, I gotta get some problem. They built this random fucking dude up to be like almost as good as Michael Fassbender, and he dies in like 10 seconds.
Yeah,
When they get the weapons, it's like...
In the last fight when they're right around the Animus.
Yeah, that's the one.
I didn't understand that. I thought it'd be like, okay, they're fighting this, that he's gonna die, then the others are gonna die. Everyone's gonna die except for Michael Fassbender, who's gonna save the day, all assassin-y stuff. No, it's like one guy dies for some reason, and that makes...
Because he sucks.
Yeah.
And he wasn't supposed to suck, he was supposed to be awesome.
I will say this, at least they did not go with the standing movie stereotype where the black guy dies first.
This is true. This is true.
He was the second most badassy person in that whole film, only because Michael Fassbender was the main character.
Yeah.
At that point.
Was that, Cottonmouth?
No. Well,
I don't think so.
no. You're thinking of the guy who was in the commercial for the figures, the female scientists. He was the general or lieutenant colonel, I don't know what it was, but he was in the commercial. He wasn't in the movie.
Okay.
Than the previous.
Yeah, there were a lot of commercials in front of this.
Yeah.
Very little previous. But yeah, the Animus makes no sense. People make no sense. This
Nobody
movie
knows
is
what they're doing.
way too effing long. If I had to sit through this again, I don't think I would have nearly as much fun.
I sat through Rogue One again. It was still very good.
Rogue One's good. Rogue One's good.
Uh,
No, when this movie was done, I leaned over to you and was like, "Man, if this movie sucked this hard, I really can't wait until the video game tie-in."
They better not.
We were right though. Don't waste your money on Rogue One 3D. Don't do it.
No, it really doesn't add a whole lot.
Nope.
It's a good movie. There are problems with it. I will freely admit I think it's still very, very good.
We're talking about Assassin's Creed or Rogue One?
Rogue One.
Sure.
We're talking about Rogue One being.
Dude, my honest opinion, this movie was worse than Max Steel.
Yes.
I've not seen Max Steel yet.
It was terrible.
I don't know if I would say worse than. I would
Max
say this
Steel
movie
had the Assassin's Creed budget, it might have been savable.
What was the budget for Max Steel?
Not a lot.
Not a lot. No, it was pretty cheap. No, this movie needed a lot of rewrites. It needed somebody who knew Assassin's Creed, first of all.
Yeah.
That would
You
have
can
helped.
tell Fassbender's never done like anything.
I hate to say this, Michael Fassbender was horribly miscast in this. He just
I don't know if that's as much Michael Fassbender or just the writing of the character.
well, that's the real problem there is I'm not sure if it's him or the character.
Or if he just wasn't right for
You know
the
who
character.
who should have played the main character?
Oh,
Kurt fucking Russell.
Oh God!
Oh my god.
Kurt Russell.
no, Kurt Russell needs to
As
stay
awesome as he
away.
is, I'm not sure that would be an interesting.
He wouldn't have been able to say this.
He could have been the dad.
Yeah, don't waste your money on this movie. It's fucking awful.
Don't do it.
If you have a friend dumb enough to waste this money on this movie, to go either buy it or see it in theater, slap them in the face.
Yeah, just punch them in the face, take their money, and go give it to a crack whore or something. They'll spend it more wisely.
I'll tell him to go, instead of go see this movie, spend his $9 on a bottle of booze. Cheap booze.
There you go.
That'll give you the worst hangover ever the
Well,
next day.
can we really do that? Because this movie is PG-13. It's meant to market to the 13-year-olds in the crowd, so...
I mean, the theater was serving alcohol, though.
They can get alcohol.
Right, but I'm just saying, do you want to advise underage drinking for this?
We don't say it's okay to underage
It might have saved
drink.
this movie.
Kids
save
getting
there.
drunk saved this movie.
I mean, it could have totally like
Little
stand.
Timmy, are you drunk? I watched Assassin's Creed, fuckface. You fuck off.
Like, remember the South Park episode where Stan can't deal with reality and has to get drunk?
Yeah,
So
And everything's awesome when he's drunk.
there you go.
That's how this.
I don't think alcohol would save this movie. I think this movie just it didn't need to be.
So, Sean,
Huh.
the director for this movie, Justin Kurzel, I hope I'm saying that right,
Okay.
on this is like IMDb or Wiki or something like that.
Right.
It has 5 movies to his credit: Blue Tongue 2005, The Turning 2013,
Okay.
Snowtown Murders 2011,
Okay.
Macbeth 2015.
Okay.
Not one that I've seen. I saw the one that they have the original wording, but the modern setting.
Right.
This one's a different one.
Right.
And then he has Assassin's Creed 2016.
Hmm.
So
Fuck get this
know,
kind of movie.
Like, I don't know what
Someone was just like, "Do you need a paycheck? Come on."
Yeah,
I'm
that's
interested in how he landed a role like being the director for this particular film.
Man, a
Well,
lot of
exactly how I
direct.
said. Someone asked him if
See,
he needed a paycheck.
Probably.
the problem with directors in Hollywood is video game movies. Most directors, that's a no-no, and they know it's a no-no because they're
Well-
never good.
I don't want to say that, but there's definitely a disconnect between the two.
Like most directors will not touch a video game movie.
Well, there's a reason for that because the medium doesn't translate well.
No.
A video game is meant to be a very interactive piece of medium that you help influence what's going on.
Yeah.
So to put it in a very still portion like this, where it's shot very deliberately, that becomes something very, very different that most directors and apparently most writers and producers don't know how to do. But
Yeah.
oh my god, yeah, no, fuck this movie.
Even like the YouTube.
If this
movie
was
better
if this
than
was
this.
the introduction most people had to Assassin's Creed, I
I'm
could
so
see it.
sorry.
I could see it turning a lot of people off to this.
I'm gonna
series.
get like I used to get compliments on this hat. I'm gonna get insults now. Like, take that piece of shit hat off.
I hope not, because I still love Assassin's Creed.
Me too. I played the game
so-
right before we came.
Let me offer this suggestion to you.
What you got?
So, let's think about
Save the
The
$9
original.
and buy the original and like download it.
Yeah, go.
Or buy the game.
Yeah,
But,
go buy the game. It's not
so,
cheap.
so think about this. 1980s, late 80s, something like that.
Yep.
We had the original Judge Dredd.
No, that was a
Awesome.
'90s movie.
Was it 90s?
That was a
Okay.
90s movie.
Either way, it was, stereotypical, in this case 90s, over the top, extreme gunplay, Sylvester Stallone coming in,
Right.
muscles, and I am the law all the way through the film.
You didn't slow that enough, but okay.
Absolutely horrible in retrospect, but in a wonderful way. I think, given time, that's what this is going to become. It's going to be like, oh my god, this was horrible. Look at what they did during this time period. What a bunch of silly people. My god, this is fun to watch.
Maybe, but most of that stems from the fact that Stallone just absolutely overacts every scene he's in. This
That's
this
true.
didn't have enough of that. This needed, if it was going to go the silly route, that's great.
Well,
I
it
had
was
fun
over the top
laughing.
with its action, though. So maybe
Right,
it's
but
not
that doesn't
good.
carry through enough. And eventually, it's so long that it eventually compounds in upon itself and it forms this black hole of suck.
Oh, Conan the Barbarian. Gotcha.
No, fuck you. Conan the Barbarian is awesome. That movie rocks tits.
Uh-huh.
No, this movie needed to be about 30 minutes short. Actually, I'd say more than like an hour shorter. You could take about 45 minutes out. This guy can tell you. There's a lot of things in here that don't make sense, don't add up, and you just go like, don't need this, don't need this, don't need this.
He was asleep for a lot of it, apparently, and still knows what went on.
There you
go.
And when he
It
can
was
predict
a
what happened in a
great
movie, you got problems, Hollywood.
Like, all the time.
Now the endings, yeah,
Oh,
but whatever.
Yeah, I can fill in what I missed. Like,
Yeah, this
just-
movie is not
Like,
good.
you can miss 30 minutes of this movie and still know what's going on. Like, I woke up with they're like, the apples in the tomb. Like, that's the exact...
That's the other thing that
And
bothered
Sean
me.
was like, the
But that's
fuck? And I
always
was
the
like,
answer.
I'm aware. I was like, I'm awake.
You
Like,
just suddenly like, I was paying attention.
no, like you shook me.
Christopher Columbus, yeah.
No,
Why not?
you shook me as I was about to fall asleep and kept me awake for maybe 10 more minutes, and then I fell asleep.
Is that why you tried to stop
Oh,
holding my
my
hand because
God.
you were falling asleep?
It probably was.
Yeah.
Answer yes. That's always
No,
the right
for
answer.
real, I for real fell asleep.
That was
No,
one
that-
time he like took his head back and he was like, "You're sitting like this." I'm like,
Like
I
I'm
look over
I
and I
did
hear
like this number right here.
Yeah.
Like
I can hear you kind of half snoring. It's like, yeah, Jared's asleep. I'm just gonna let him sleep. I can't blame him.
it's like it's in Columbus too. What the fuck? Like Sean was like, the fuck, and I was like, the fuck? Like I woke up, I was like, I heard it's in the tube. What's up?
I'll say this much. I'm an easygoing person when it comes to movies. I don't get too upset at things unless it's something that's like uber near and dear to my heart, and they just go the opposite horrible direction with it. And that still made me stop and just go like, why is he talking to Christopher Columbus?
Yeah, no.
It was not necessary. It could have been it could have been another assassin. It could have been anything, and it would have been fine.
a
but,
different
but
friend.
maybe they're going with the spirit in that Assassin's Creed is closely tied to major historical pieces. So they thought, okay,
But
Spanish
we-
Inquisition, Christopher Columbus going west.
we would know
But a quick
that.
Google search figures all that wrong.
We would know that without them doing that, though.
I
We
think
know-
that. Do you ever notice we tend to do the longer videos when it's about really shitty movies?
Well, there's a lot to talk about with shit.
Ugh.
You have to deconstruct when something's bad and explain this is what's wrong, this is why it
It's
didn't
like
work.
constipation. When it comes out, it's got to take its time.
Yeah, that's exactly it, actually. When something's good, you can just say, yeah, this worked on every conceivable level, and people look at it and go, oh, okay, I want to see this
has
then.
like just been a terrible day for me. I saw an awful movie. I mean, I got
Yeah.
a good nap in. Carrie Fisher died.
Yeah,
Rest in peace.
yeah, may she
R.I.P.
rest in
Carrie
peace.
She's with the Force now.
Dude, she was a very, very active person in Hollywood.
Yeah.
There's like a 3-year stint between 95 and 98 where she took time off from like being in movies physically, and that was around the time she checked into rehab.
Yeah.
But apart from that, she's script doctored. She did all kinds of stuff.
They'll probably give her daughter a massive role in the next couple Star Wars movies.
Maybe, I don't know. Now, there's one last thing I want to complain about as a fan of the game. Just because this completely baffled me, because it's never said the apple of Eden. It's a piece of Eden. And every single time they're standing there, the apple of Eden is within our grasp. I'm like, piece of Eden. The apple piece. Now that we have the apple, it's a piece, fuck you! They also got the size wrong. It's like the size of an actual apple in the game. It's like the size of a good-sized grapefruit.
Yeah.
It's fucking huge. It goes on a papal staff, for God's sake. Fuck me. That in this movie just had the most washed-out color palette. Did anybody else pick up on that?
Yeah.
Everything was dark and gloopy, and it's like, even the first
Tan
Assassin,
colored.
yeah, it was all tan or
No, that could have been.
bleak colors.
Well, the tan
It's-
colors was reserved for when they're in the past. The role of.
Well, here's the problem.
The ancestor.
Here's the problem, though. There aren't any Assassin's Creeds that are like that.
No.
They're all very bright. They're all
They
quite
are,
colorful.
The games are, but when you're in cinematography, you have an aesthetic, you have an artistic touch to it, and I think that's why they had the really cold palette.
Unless
whenever
their
they're
artistic
in
touch is make it so
Abstergo.
murky that I can't see what the fuck is going on.
That's what I
To
was
some
saying.
extent, yes.
Like it was like
that's when you
washed
get
out
into
color.
abstract coloring. Because when he's in the Animus and things get intense, the rest of the world falls away from it. It's just what he sees through the Animus. When they're in the scenes, when they're in Abstergo,
If
just
that
every
were
day,
the
it's very
case-
washed out and cold.
If that were the case, then that would be fine. But it happens in Abstergo as well. It's all very bleak and
It's only when he's interacting with his past, though, that
no,
happens.
it's
No,
all
but
throughout the
even-
movie.
Even
Really?
through,
Yes.
even in
Yeah.
the building,
Every
Like
time.
hardcore. It's
like
the color
gray,
palette is
black,
washed out and desaturated,
blue,
and it's just like there is
dark, like light palish blue.
yeah, there is not a bright, colorful thing in this entire movie.
I was looking for her to be like wearing maybe
Trailer
a
for
red
Underworld
shirt or
looked more
something.
bright and colorful.
Yeah, that's saying something right there. I was sitting there waiting for this movie. I guess we can talk about trailers now.
Trailers.
Wait, one more thing.
Oh,
Why did he turn into Oliver Queen?
Yeah,
Wait,
I was like, you have failed this city.
I
Oh,
thought you'd
straight.
be. I thought you'd be down for that.
I won't.
Yeah, he straight up turns into Arrow.
Arrow.
Oh yeah. Well,
He just
No,
grabs the
the-
bow.
He just grabs the bow and starts going.
no, but you remember when they're running away, the ancestor was
Ricocheted
going all
arrow.
over Queen too.
Oh my god, that
But
I
he
ridiculous.
never
that
missed the
I think that was the
shot.
first time
It was
I
ridiculous.
busted
It was over
out
the top.
laughing.
But he's got like, okay, yeah, the ancestor used the bow and arrow like a badass, so he can now because animus.
But he never-
Ricocheting an arrow off somebody to
Even
kill
after he got out of
somebody
the
else.
Animus, he
though.
automatically knows how to use his bow and arrow now.
That was there. There's a great scene. I laughed so hard at this.
He looked very Stephen Amell-ish with the shirt off.
He
and
did.
They're in the
thing on
past.
his
Ripped,
back.
though.
They're in the
Stephen
past.
Amell's
He's-
ripped,
Stephen
dude.
Amell is ripped.
They're in the past. He's trying to pull back the bow, and he keeps twisting and trying to aim. And he's like, "Damn it! She's in the way. Wrestling with a person. I can't get a clear shot." Oh wait! Fires the arrow, bounces it off the wall into a guy's face. I was just there. I was like, "Oh my god!"
That's
Jump
at
the
the
shark.
point where I was like, you have
Yes.
failed this city.
Jump the shark! Hell, they set the sharks on fire, shoved explosives in them, then put the Fonz, Shatner, and Eric Estrada on motorbikes with rockets on the back and launched them through the atmosphere through hoops, and then rocket propelled the sharks up towards them. That's how hard they jumped this shark.
That sounded amazing.
God.
That would have been more amazing than this movie.
Yeah.
I don't want to see that rendered into a 3D thing. So
Right.
if there's any three-dimensional guys out there that know how to do their stuff,
Please.
make that a thing.
Yeah, I'll make that my background. All right, trailers.
Blood
We
Wars.
only really had the two for this.
Figures.
The figures, which I'm kind of interested in watching.
The what?
The what?
Figures.
That was about
Or
the
is it-
girls who were in NASA.
Is it just the
Oh
figures?
yeah,
or is
the,
it-
Yeah.
chick. Okay.
Is that what it's called?
That's
Okay.
That's what it said on the poster.
Yeah, it's the story of what is it, 3?
Three.
It's the story of 3 black women during the time of the Apollo 11 launch.
I don't know if it's that one.
It's the one where Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin went to the moon and actually landed.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yes.
Yeah, because Buzz Aldrin is Glenn Powell, I think is the dude's name.
I don't know. I forget.
Let me look this
The
up.
guy
real
from
quick.
Scream
I don't know why,
Queens.
that just
We'll figure it out later. Somebody will correct us in the comments if we're wrong. But yeah, that looks like it could be interesting if they don't try and play it up for
It was
the
called
whole-
Hidden Figures.
yeah,
apparently.
if
Hidden
they
Figures, there we go.
yeah, that's it. If they don't try and play it up with the whole women are equal and they just tell an actual story that has historical significance about 3 women of color in the South
It is-
during doing something that no
Well-
one else has even conceived of.
Well, it is about people like, okay, you have to, there was like, you know, you have to let her do this. We can't work
Right.
apart.
And
So,
it was actually it
seems
was
like it's gonna be
John Glenn being sent into orbit during the space race.
Was it John Glenn?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I'm
You
sorry.
had,
I'm sorry.
Glenn Powell playing the role, and
Okay.
remember he's walking by
Yeah.
and the one girl's eyeing him up and down.
Right.
Yeah. So I don't know. It looks like it'll be fun. It seems lighthearted, which is nice.
I hope so. Honestly,
That
I
dude's
could use a
really-
lighthearted historical look at something that
Dude, Glenn Powell is hilarious.
Came off well.
Funny.
that's cool.
And
He's
the
cool.
other preview.
And the other preview I thought was going to be the worst part of I thought I was going to be sitting here just absolutely abysmal as I was during this preview is for Underworld Blood
Blood
Wars.
I actually was so disinterested in that I forgot that was what the preview was.
I love how many shots of the moon they have on this. I kept thinking it's like, now we have to go to the moon and fight werewolves that don't ever change back to people because they're constantly on the moon.
No,
Nasty
it's-
werewolves.
Actually, the werewolves that didn't turn back was Underworld 3.
I stopped watching after the second one.
I'm
It
not
was
gonna lie.
the prequel.
That movie series is a guilty pleasure for me. I know it's horribly.
The first
stupid.
one is a guilty
all
pleasure
of
for
them
me.
Are. All of them are guilty pleasures for me. I know they're horrible, but they're fun to watch.
I can't watch the second.
I can't watch the second one either. I can't even watch the edited version on TV because every time I try to do, Sean's fucking voice comes in my head. He goes, Scott Speedman's ass. Scott Speedman's ass.
Because there's
Scott Speedman's
a part in the first 10 fucking minutes of that movie where you see Scott
Speedman's
Speedman and
ass.
Kate Beckinsale boning, and it's like, I never wanted to see Scott Speedman's ass. Now I've ruined it for him.
It's been that way for the last. You did that like 8 years ago.
Oh God, something like that. Yeah.
When we worked at Kroger, you did that. It's like, I can't even watch the edited version on TV because I just hear Scott Speedman's ass. Scott Speedman's ass. Hey, Jared, Scott Speedman's ass. I was like trying to defend the movie or something one day.
You were, and I was just like,
Scott Speedman's ass.
Yeah, and that's the only thing I would let you hear is just Scott Speedman's naked ass.
Well, I think
You need to make that into a text message.
I think, yeah.
No, I texted him the goddamn second I watched that movie, and I was like, I fucking hate you.
Yeah.
Well, I think we pretty much got all of our angers out. For
Yeah,
this
this
movie.
has been a long one.
I'm still gonna stand by it. I have no hatred for this movie. It was silly. It was over the top. It wasn't that great. But
If
it
you're
was fun to
looking for a
watch.
bad movie night or something, I would say pop this on Netflix or give it a rental.
I've seen
Like a
worse.
Redbox rental, not like full scale rental, because that's going to be like $5, and this movie is not worth $5.
No, I'd say definitely like let your friend buy it and watch it.
No, don't let your friend buy it. Let your friend rent it, maybe.
Yeah.
But
Be like, hey dog, I heard this movie was awful. Let's go ahead and
yeah,
check it out."
if you want to have a, like your own Mystery Science Theater style fun night, this is definitely one you'll want to hit.
Wait. You can make it into a drinking game. Take a shot every time a historical moment is wrong.
Well, you will have liver poisoning by the time you're halfway through this. So,
Will. Yes, you will.
well, we'll catch you back here next time, everybody. Here's to 2017 being better, maybe.
Hopefully.
Definitely.
Oh, I just remembered. Another reason they stopped cutting off their middle finger is because it looks like they're constantly doing the shocker.
Like,
So that's what Michael Fassbender's doing. It's like, yeah, I'm going to two in the pink, one in the stink.
Oh my God, no, we're done.
Even for dudes.
No, we're done. We're done.
later, guys.
Later.